Hello and welcome to News Now. I am Fidelia Aguncha. The United Nations Population Fund, UNFPA, says Nigeria's population has hit a new high of 201 million. This was contained in its 2019 State of the World Population Report released on Monday. According to the report, Nigeria's growth rate has been at an average of 2.6% from 2010 to 2019. It also adds that fertility rate among Nigerian women has dropped from 6.4 in 1969 to 5.3 in 2019, meaning an average Nigerian woman gives birth to at least 5 children. Of this figure, 88.44 million are between the ages of 0 and 14, while 64.32 million are within the age of 10 and 24. The report also placed the current world population at 7.7 billion as of April 2019. The Nigeria Immigration Service (NIS) has commenced registration for the issuance of the 10-year e-passport. This was announced by the spokesperson of the service, James Sunday, in a statement released on Monday. The statement noted that about 720 applicants will be captured on a daily basis and will incorporate the registration of a release by the National Identity Management Commission (NIMC). It, however, noted that the service will continue to issue the old booklet in all passport offices at the state commands, while the service headquarters in Abuja will only issue the new booklets. Labor leaders in the country are calling for mass creation of decent jobs for Nigerians. At a joint rally in Abuja held in preparation for Workers' Day, the leaders of the Nigeria Labour Congress (NLC) and the Trade Union Congress (TUC) stressed that creating decent jobs will reduce crime rates in the society. The labor leaders also urge employers of labor in the private and public sectors to immediately begin the full implementation of the new national minimum wage. They say the Nigeria Labour Movement will keep an eye on all employers of labor, especially state government, to ensure total compliance on the implementation of the new national minimum wage.
Last year, Nigeria was double the poverty capitals of the world. We were not surprised, not with the massive destruction of jobs, supporting physical infrastructure, and the consistent mass disindustrialization of our national economy. The consequences of mass unemployment in our country, especially youth unemployment, is finding expression daily on our streets and communities in the forms of increasing crimes. It is high time we arrested this dangerous drift before it consumes all of us. As we march today, we call on government employers in the private sector, international development partners, and local social actors to come together to plot a way out of these cauldrons.
The People's Democratic Party (PDP) is alleging that no fewer than 14 trillion naira has been stolen under the Buhari-led administration. The claims were made by the party's spokesperson, Kola Ologbondiyan, in a statement released over the weekend. According to Ologbondiyan, the money includes the 9 trillion naira allegedly stolen from the Ministry of Petroleum Resources, over 1.4 trillion naira alleged oil subsidy sleaze, and the 1.1 trillion naira worth of crude allegedly diverted using 18 unregistered companies. He further claimed that the present administration's unwholesome borrowing led to the escalation of the nation's debt stock from 12.12 trillion in 2015 to 24.39 trillion in 2018. He also notes that the APC and President Muhammadu Buhari were desperate to remain in power in order to prevent investigations into the matter. Meanwhile, neither the federal government nor the APC has reacted to the allegations. Well, just last week, the Tertiary Education Trust Fund, TET Fund, made an explosive revelation that over 80% of Nigerian professors lack the ability to write acceptable research topics and proposals. This development has garnered reactions from many Nigerians, especially stakeholders in the education sector. Now, the latest reaction is coming from Ite Sage, a professor of law and a senior advocate of Nigeria. Sage says there is need to overhaul the Nigerian education system in order to improve the quality of education and also boost the capacity of lecturers.
The professors are not exclusively to be blamed. The university system promotes quantity rather than quality in terms of research papers required for promotion. What they do is they put a minimum number. Oh, to be a professor, you will need at least 25 papers in some specific types of journals and one book. Or if you don't have a book, maybe some 30-something papers, that type of thing. And the result of that is that the papers are of low quality. Yeah, regardless of quality, because you need numbers. The university is insisting on numbers. So they are not looking at quality. If they had a system in which they said, which was quality-based, and they said, you don't need 30 papers. If you have 5, and those 5 not merely contribute to knowledge, but actually contribute towards solving major societal problems, that's more than enough for you to be a professor. In fact, you don't need more than 1 paper for that if you have a major breakthrough. But so this insistence on numbers make the lecturers turn them into factories for churning out worthless articles.
The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has declared candidate of the All Progressives Congress, Kolawole Taiwo, winner of Ajeromi Ifelodun Federal Constituency election. Taiwo was declared winner of the polls over the weekend after INEC conducted supplementary elections in 71 polling units across 8 wards of the constituency. In the elections, Taiwo polled a total of 36,111 votes to defeat his closest rival from the People's Democratic Party, Rita Orji, who got 32,557 votes. The commission had declared the February 23rd House of Representative election in the constituency inconclusive due to overvoting, non-compliance with the usage of smart card readers, and violence.
I am determined to unite our local federal constituency that has been pluralized on the line of tribe. That's not our way. Our diversity is supposed to be our strength, and this is what I'm going to pursue. I'm going to respect all tribes. You know me, I attend virtually all tribes' cultural displays. I'll continue that line. I'm going to stretch my hand in fellowship and of camaraderie to those that contested against me. Let's come together. You can also advise me. I don't claim to have the monopoly of wisdom. I don't even claim to say I'm the best. I am not. I always tell people that I'm the most fortunate.
Meanwhile, the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has been charged to do more to check the gale of defection by lawmakers in the National Assembly. In the build-up to the 2019 general election, dozens of lawmakers, including Senate President Bukola Saraki and Speaker of the House of Representatives Yakubu Dogara, defected from their parties to pitch camp with other parties. Recently, a federal high court declared vacant the seat of Senator Sonny Ogbuoji, who represents Ebonyi South Senatorial District, after the lawmaker defected from the main opposition PDP to the ruling APC. Now, reacting to this, Frank Tietie, a legal practitioner, wants INEC to intensify efforts on its own part to address the issue.
The best way in approaching matters like this is to consistently be on the side of the law, beginning from the Constitution to the statutes, and then established practices and procedures by INEC itself. So in failing to take position, INEC allowed all of this, and then the courts cannot also be trusted on the issue of speed, because when it takes so long for the courts to make determinations and then to make give orders that cannot be enforced. For example, asking the person who has illegally occupied the seat as a senator or House of Reps member to now refund monies that it has, he or she has expended over or collected as salaries. It's a nuggetry. It's nearly impossible. And knowing that the judiciary will render useless because of the reason of delay, render useless the quest for justice, INEC should have mustered enough courage to take the position and wield the big stick whenever any person runs foul. It doesn't matter whoever the person is, whether it's the Senate President as the case of Saraki, or the minority leader in case of Gospel Akpabio, or just even a member of a House of Assembly. INEC should take a position, and we expect that it should change in this new dispensation.
The National Interfaith Religious Organizations for Peace in Nigeria has come down heavily on religious leaders across the country for using hate speech during sermons. The group was speaking in Abuja while reacting to the recent banditry, kidnapping, and ethnic clashes across Nigeria. They say most crises in the country are orchestrated by disgruntled preachers, both in the Christian and Islamic faith. The group is now urging other clergies to continuously pray for peace and unity in Nigeria.
How can we explain to God Almighty that we have so devalued the grip of the life in us to the point we have raised and sustained armed banditry, killing by ethnic militias, religious zealots, and tribal warlords without defined missions? Terrorists or insurgents, how do we feel when we take up arms against ourselves in killing and destruction? Why are the clergy promoting violence on the pulpit, worship or in secret places? North or south, it is the same sad tales that have engulfed Nigeria. The war being instigated by men on the pulpit is more than what armed men are doing. Evil must not be found amongst us. We cannot triumph even in the sight of God by creating or promoting violence through interfaith conflict, ethnic supremacy, and such other motivation for killing ourselves. May we see this opportunity to warn the clergy or messengers of God who covertly or overtly promote ethnic rife or propagate hate sermons to bolster the activities of killers in the name of politics or religion. This act are not of God, and failure to desist means they will be randomly exposed and disgraced by Almighty God in no distant time.
The Catholic Youth Organization of Nigeria, Sion, has urged youth across the country to shun drug abuse and other forms of criminality. The group made a call during a rally organized to mark the 31st Agda Sishan Youth Day, which focuses on social issues like job creation and insecurity. The rally kicked off from St. Leo Catholic Church on Toyin Street through Computer Village and terminated at the Police College in Ikeja.
To talk to ourselves as young people, youths. We're tired of seeing fellow young people who are into drugs. We're tired of seeing fellow young people who are kidnappers, who actually are dropouts, and also are not into school. So we're trying to see how we can discuss this amongst ourselves, also pass a strong message to the government saying these are our basic needs. We are not asking for too much. If we can get this, of course, I'm sure no young man in his right senses or young lady in her right senses will want to go out into prostitution or want to go into stealing or want to go into abusing drugs.
As young people, we need to begin to engage, organize the social contract, and drug abuse is a serious issue in Nigeria and globally. In fact, the NDLEA estimates that 40% of Nigerian youths are into drug abuse. And you can see a link between drug abuse and criminality. In the north, a lot of ladies are using codeine. There's the drug called codeine, using it illegally for other uses. In the south, you have people taking what they know as weed, amongst others. So it's a big problem. There's increase in kidnapping, rape. people are falling into depression, oppression, and recession. The government needs to create jobs and also create reformation centers.
We are using this avenue to call on our government to look and to see as a priority the welfare of our teeming young people. As you can see, we had gathered here, of course, on that pilgrimage, we were about 4,000 on that pilgrimage with our various placards saying no to drug abuse.
Well, news now will continue in just a moment. Stay with us.
House the crash launches are being rescued alive from concerted the government launching the fact. Where voters are on the queue to cast their ballot.
That electronic outlet response and Nigerians are reacting.
Area of Lagos as early as
7 some minutes say the incident has been managed.
This morning.
Thanks for staying with us. Let's now get updates from the world of business. Oyin Adekunle standing by with details. It's over to you, Oyin.
You're welcome to the business segment of the news. An anti-corruption civil society group, Awareness for Good Governance, is urging the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, to probe the activities of the Nigeria Export and Import Bank. The group, during a rally in Abuja, passed a vote of no confidence on the chairman board of Nexim Bank, Joseph Nana. They are accusing him of mismanagement and flouting of government directives. According to the group, Nexim is not just a financial house, but a trade financial institution aimed at diversifying Nigeria's economy into a non-oil dependent economy, and as such should be run by competent and incorruptible persons.
We are tasking EFCC to investigate Dr. Nana's activities as Nexim board chairman and as a member of the board. It is also worthy of note, Nexim Bank is not just a financial sector, but a trade policy institution aimed at diversifying the Nigeria economy into a non-oil dependent economy. To this end, allowing a questionable character to pilot the affairs of this noble institution is a clog in the wheels of Nigeria's goals and, in effect, painting our beloved nation on a negative timeline. Even though Dr. Nana is unqualified for the job, his incompetence is further glaring as he recently flouted official procedures and authorized, please listen to this and take note, and please emphasize and stress it, authorized payment of over 100 million naira as severance package to one Saratu Umar, a former staff of the bank, but who was, and please again I stress this point, who was sacked from Nexim due to official negligence and incompetence. Furthermore, our group noted the latest scheming of Dr. Nana and his cabals by illegitimately recommending and approving mass sack of staff of the bank perceived to be opposed to his corrupt and inept practices.
The Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, is set to unveil a clean note policy and banknote fitness guideline to ensure the circulation of clean, fit, and high-quality Naira notes. In a statement announcing the move, the Apex Bank noted that the clean note policy provides a uniform standard for the circulation of only clean and fit banknotes, while the banknote fitness guidelines provide the industry with clear and acceptable criteria for determining the quality of banknotes in circulation. It stressed that this is pursuant to Section 18, 20, and 21 of the CBN Act 2007, which prohibits the counterfeiting, sale, and abuse of the Naira. The CBN also revealed that it has developed a mechanism to ensure full compliance with the documents, adding that it would provide compliant channels like phone numbers and emails to enable the public provide information about infractions. stock market review is right next after this break. Please stay tuned. It's another day of unsuccessful recovery attempt as trading activities in the Nigerian stock market got off on a wrong foot this week. The total market capitalization of all listed equities fell from 11.176 trillion naira on Friday to 11.094 trillion naira today. Consequently, the all-share index shed 0.74% to close at 29,521.06 basis point. The loss in the market was mainly due to the activities of the stocks of Total, Stanbic, a cement company of Northern Nigeria, and Dangote Cement, all making combined loss of 22.97%. Now, these are not the only stocks dragging the market down, but they, of course, are the leading corporates in the market today. Despite these losses, some stocks were selling hot today, more like the hot cakes in the market. They are Forte Oil, Julius Berger, Dangote Flour, and Okomo Oil. Dangote Flour also stretching its gains, and of course, we have Okomo Oil bouncing back to record a gain of 0.69%. In summary, we see that the value in volume of transactions stood at 290 and 189 million shares worth over 2.164 billion naira. In the global scene, FTSE is closing higher today by 0.17%. The Dow Industrial Average also rose by 0.09%. Nikkei is still where it was in previous session as a result of non-trading, and that's because of the 10-day holiday to celebrate the ascension of a new emperor to the chrysanthemum throne. So that's all we can take on the stock market review today. It's back to Fidelia.
Thank you so much, Oyin, for that update. Let's now look at news from the foreign scene. Sri Lanka has placed a ban on face covering a week after Islamist militants carried out coordinated suicide bombings that killed 253 people. The restriction, which was announced on Sunday, will take effect from Monday. They say the ban is to ensure national security, stressing that no one should obscure their faces to make identification difficult. Muslims in the majority Buddhist nation account for about 10% of its 21 million population. Now, most Sri Lankan Muslims practice a liberal form of the religion, and only a small number of women wear the hijab. And to sport, Premier League club Manchester United have confirmed that defender Eric Bailly will miss the rest of the season as well as the 2019 Africa Cup of Nations after suffering a medial ligament injury over the weekend. The 25-year-old was forced off the pitch in the 1-1 draw with Chelsea at Old Trafford on Sunday, and manager Ole Gunnar Solskjaer after the game said the Ivorian will be out for the rest of the season. The Ivory Coast international will now miss the Africa Cup of Nations tournament in Egypt, which runs from June 21st to July 19, 2019. And the Spanish Football Association has effected changes to the Copa del Rey and Spanish Super Cup format for the 2019-2020 season and beyond. The Copa del Rey switches to a single match format with the exception of the semi-finals, which remains a two-leg tie. It also resolved that teams involved in the Spanish Super Cup, that is Barcelona, Valencia, Atletico Madrid and Real Madrid, will not have to take part in the first two rounds of the Copa. The final will be played on April 18, 2020. Now, the association also noted that Spanish Super Cup will change from a match between the league winners and the cup winners to a 4-team competition. And that is on News Now. Thank you so much for being a part of it. I am Fidelia Aguncha. Bye for now.